WWE Wrestlepalooza is shaping up to be an incredible card, and today I'm giving my predictions on every single match result. But I encourage you to play along and put your predictions for the matches in the comment section below, so we can see if you can get more correct than me. The first match is Io Sky versus Stephanie Vaquer for the vacant Women's World Championship. This comes after Stephanie Vaquer won that 20-woman Battle Royal at Evolution to give her a title shot at Clash in Paris, but was forced to take place at Wrestlepalooza because Naomi, the champion at the time, had to vacate the title due to being pregnant. This led Adam Pearce to have Io Sky take Naomi's place and have a vacate title match. Logically, I have to think that Stephanie is going to win the match because she was the one who was originally scheduled to face Naomi, and I don't know if she's going to win or lose, but it's either going to be her or Naomi as a world champion, so pivoting to Io Sky just feels really weird and out of place. And I also think that Stephanie is going to win because Io's involved in this feud now with Asuka and Kairi Sane. They've been going back and forth with Io and Rhea Ripley backstage and in matches about should they come help Io, should they not help Io, and Asuka's not anyone even talk about Io Sky. It's a whole lot of stuff back there that I think is going to lead to a match between Rhea and Io versus the Kabuki Warriors. So I don't think they need the Women's World Championship to have that feud. So I think that they could have that feud separately and put that title on Stephanie to give her a big boost and let her carry the women's division. It just would feel like such a disservice to give Stephanie the match by letting her win that Battle Royal to then have her opponent have to vacate the title, and then you give that title to someone else who wasn't even involved. It just feels really weird, and so I think Stephanie is going to walk out as champion, and it could be due to interference by maybe Asuka or Kairi Sane. They're coming down to help Io Sky, but actually end up costing her the match, which could further that feud. So I'm going with Stephanie Vaquer to win the women's title. The next match is the Usos, Jay and Jimmy, taking on the Vision, Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker in a tag team match. And this is interesting for a couple reasons because there's so many directions they can take this feud and this match, and I don't know which one they're going to go with because they've been teasing Jay having a little more heelishness in his character, even having Jimmy say, "You kind of sound like Roman." I think that could play into this match where maybe they do turn the Usos heel or they turn Jay Uso heel and they cost them the match. That also could be a red herring and you have the Usos just win the match and then go on to eventually be the tag team champions again. I personally believe that Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker need a little bit more momentum. Yes, they kind of win some singles matches and some tag matches on Raw, but you have Roman Reigns beat Bronson Reed, and it's just the same thing over and over again where you lose a match, but you attack him guy afterwards, and it kind of gives you your momentum back, but I just don't really like that. I'm a big fan of factions that hold a lot of gold, and so Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch, they're both holding gold. So if you give Bronson Reed and Bron Breakker the tag team titles, your entire faction holds gold, and I think it gives a lot more credibility to your group, and you don't really need more credibility, but it's been weird that Seth has been doing his own thing with Becky Lynch and not really involving Bronson and Bron, and so to give them something like a big win over the Usos and maybe give them a tag team title shot later on down the line, I think that'd be huge for them. You could even play into the fact that the Usos haven't teamed together in years, and so that could be why that Bronson and Bron pick up the victory, because they have been working together as a team. Now, an idea I've seen thrown out there is that Jay Uso is going to actually turn heel on Jimmy Uso and he's going to join the Vision, and that could be very interesting, but it feels like it's just a decision to draw views and to just give a moment without a lot of thought behind it, and so I don't think that Jay should turn heel and join the Vision. It just doesn't really feel right to me. I understand if they're going like the Judgment Day where they just beat down Dominic over and over and over until he eventually submitted to the group and joined them. I could see that because Jay's been going a long time with the Vision and he's been constantly getting screwed here and there, and so I think that he could do that, but it wouldn't have the same effect as Dominic, and I think that Jay's just too big right now to kind of play second fiddle in a group like that. So all in all, I want the Vision to win. I want them to build momentum to eventually be tag team champions, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think they're going to go with the Usos. They're going to win. They're going to have some momentum going in, and then the Usos will eventually challenge for the tag team championships later on. I don't think any sort of heel turn. I don't think on a card this kind of big, they're going to use a moment like that. If they're going to do it, they'll do it on Raw or maybe the next pay-per-view, but I think they're going to let the moments happen later on with Brock and John Cena or Cody and Drew, and I don't think we need a heel turn or a big kind of moment out of this match. So I say the Usos are going to win clean, and it's just going to be a nice little match. But speaking of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, that next match is them taking on CM Punk and AJ Lee, and what an incredible build this has been. Yes, it's been very predictable, but predictable does not mean bad. Just because you know AJ Lee is going to return doesn't take away from the fact that she's still returned after like 10 plus years to an amazing reaction. But now the fun part is that AJ Lee has signed a multi-year deal to be a full-time talent, and it's not just a one-off. If it was just a one-off, I would say that AJ Lee and CM Punk are going to win, but I don't know if that's the direction they want to take, because now you can have time to build their stories a little farther. Maybe you have Becky Lynch pin AJ Lee, because you could say, you know what, she has ring rust. She's been out of the ring for 10 years. Maybe you have AJ Lee pin Becky Lynch and then try to challenge for her Intercontinental Championship later on. Or we could see CM Punk get a visual pin on Seth Rollins to to lead to another one-on-one match for the title at the next pay-per-view. I am going to say that CM Punk and AJ Lee do pick up the win, and I'm going to say that AJ pins Becky Lynch, which is going to lead, I think the next pay-per-view is Crown Jewel. I think that AJ Lee is going to challenge Becky Lynch for the Intercontinental Championship at Crown Jewel, and I don't know if she'll win that match, but I think she's going to win her tag team match because you have this huge return, you have all these clicks, all these views. Give her the win, let her challenge for a title because you have her around for a while. Like I said, it's not just a one match. If it's a one match, you'd probably have her win. But you have her on for a while. You can build these stories, and I think her pinning Becky Lynch to kind of have some descent of now that the man, she's beaten Nikki Bella, she's beaten Lyra Valkyria, she's now lost to AJ Lee, a returning who hasn't wrestled in 10 years. That can kind of have her spiraling a little bit, going a little crazy to have what is she gonna do to have to defend that title at Crown Jewel. Then you can see that CM Punk, who should now be challenging Seth Rollins for that world title at Crown Jewel. And if it was up to me, I would then have CM Punk versus Seth Rollins in a Hell in a Cell. Let that be the end of it. Whoever walks out of there as the champion, and you end the feud because we're going on for so long. But I think that CM Punk and AJ Lee should win to then set up those two singles matches at the next pay-per-view. Because I don't think there's a lot of story to go of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch winning. Because then I don't know where you go from next. This next match is the newest match announced, and it's one that I have a really hot take on, and it's Cody Rhodes defending his WWE Championship against Drew McIntyre. This goes back to SummerSlam, where Cody Rhodes defeated John Cena to win back his WWE Championship, and then he was instantly attacked by Drew McIntyre on the SmackDown following, and then that cost him a couple weeks, a month of being out of action for injury, but in reality he was filming Street Fighter. And it just felt really odd to put the title back on Cody Rhodes just to keep him off television for a couple weeks. And I don't think keeping it on John Cena was the right call. I think it was the right call to give it to Cody Rhodes, but then having him away just feels weird. And so I think that with Cody Rhodes coming back, yes, he's your big babyface, he's your big megastar. I think Drew McIntyre should win. I think Drew should win the WWE Championship. I don't think he should be, cashed in on, should not lose it right away. CM Punk shouldn't screw him somehow. It should be Drew finally gets a win over Cody Rhodes. I don't think he needs to hold it for super long. He could lose it at Crown Jewel. He could lose it at, a Saturday Night Main Event in December. He could lose at the Rumble. But I think that Drew deserves some sort of championship match. He has been incredible. He just beat Randy Orton. He has been one of the best wrestlers and characters in WWE for the past couple of years, and he has earned a title shot that isn't just you take it, you lose. You win the title and you lose it right away. Give him a proper run. Give him a month. Give him 3 months. That's not as long as he deserves, but if you want to get the title back to Cody Rhodes before WrestleMania, you can have him trying to chase that title again from Drew. That's what my heart says, but my mind says they're not going to have Cody Rhodes, who just filmed this big movie, he just won the title, he just made his huge return. They're not going to make him lose his first match back and lose his championship to Drew McIntyre. Especially with it being the first pay-per-view on ESPN, they want the most fans to see their champion, and their guy is Cody Rhodes. So to see all the fans see Cody Rhodes pick up a big victory, that could be huge for WWE and Cody Rhodes' stature. But at the same time, your first big pay-per-view on ESPN, you could start that with a huge title change that I don't think a lot of people are expecting. I think the big majority is expecting Cody Rhodes to retain his title. So if you start that by saying, look, anything can happen. You have to watch these pay-per-views. You need to buy ESPN Plus, whatever it's called now, so you can watch these pay-per-views because it's so shocking of what could happen. Drew just beat Cody Rhodes. He could beat him clean. It almost reminds me of when Cody came back to AEW and he lost his TNT championship against Brody Lee. It was like a squash match. It just was really shocking. It was like, oh my goodness, I have to watch Dynamite because I didn't think Cody's going to lose, and he lost his title like that. So now I have to watch these pay-per-views because I didn't think Cody's going to lose, but now Drew's the champion. And I personally like that more. I like that it's shocking because a title changed hands on a non-SummerSlam, non-WrestleMania. It changed hands on a Wrestlepalooza, a card that was announced like 4 weeks prior. It really makes every show matter, and it gives a reason for the viewers to tune in. If I know that only the title is going to change hands on a big 4 pay-per-view, a Royal Rumble, a WrestleMania, a SummerSlam, a Money in the Bank, stuff like that, Survivor Series, I don't need to watch Saturday Night Main Event. It's a glorified house show that only the good guys are going to win. But if I know that at some point, some seeping of doubt creeps in that any champion can lose their title, because why did Cody Rhodes lose the title to Drew McIntyre? Why it couldn't happen to you? So I could just start thinking, I have to watch this because although I know Cody's going to win, What if he doesn't? And that's the beauty of pro wrestling. So while I do kind of think Cody Rhodes is going to win, I'm going to give my official prediction as Drew McIntyre pins him clean to win the WWE Championship. And the final match, and the match that has been announced to be the main event of the show, is Brock Lesnar taking on John Cena for the last time. I've gone back and forth about who I think is going to win this match. It's between John Cena, because he has 7 matches or 7 dates left, and I don't think that he should be losing right away, but it also depends on what John's going to do in those last couple of matches. Is he going to work towards maybe the Intercontinental Championship? Is he going to try to get, the 18th world title? And if he loses to Brock Lesnar, that kind of ruins kind of his credibility, that if he loses to Brock, he shouldn't really be in a title match. But Brock Lesnar might be retiring at SummerSlam next year in Minneapolis, and if they're going to have big plans for him, then he needs to beat John Cena. So I don't know what WWE's plans they're going to have. So I think my official prediction that Brock Lesnar is going to beat John Cena. They're going to right the wrong that was 2012 Extreme Rules, where John Cena just lost to The Rock, and then Brock Lesnar returns, and then John beats him in that street fight. And it made no sense that Brock loses a return match, and I don't think it should happen here. I think that they're going to build Brock up, and I don't know what they're going to do with him, but I think he's going to be involved pretty heavily at Royal Rumble, pretty heavily at WrestleMania, and definitely at SummerSlam in his hometown. And I think they need to build him either for a title shot or to be a champion. And so I think him beating John Cena one last time, I think is the right move. I think they might add a stipulation, maybe a street fight, Extreme Rules, from 2012. I don't know what they're going to do, but I think that Brock Lesnar is going to win, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with John Cena on his way out, putting over more people, giving the wins to other people. He doesn't need to beat Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar can use that more than John can use beating Brock, and so I'm okay if Brock wins. He could have 10 F5s hit on him to kind of give some sort of face of Super Cena, but I think it's going to be a good match. I think people are kind of sleeping on this match. I'm a fan of both people, both wrestlers. And I'm excited for Brock Lesnar to hopefully walk out of Wrestlepalooza as a winner. And I think with this being the main event, there's going to be some sort of angle, some sort of reason that Cena loses, some reason that Brock wins, something afterwards that's going to set up something for both of them. So I don't think if there was just have a match, 1, 2, 3, all right, Brock wins, that would be the main event. I think it's going to be something big at the end to really give fans like the final show of this is Wrestlepalooza. This is WWE on ESPN. This is your final image ingrained in your head, kind of like SummerSlam, where the final image was Seth Rollins cashing in, and it stuck with you. So I think that there's going to be something big that's going to stick with you rather than just Brock pins John Cena or Cena pins Brock Lesnar. Something big is going to happen, and I'm very excited for that. But that's my predictions for Wrestlepalooza. Again, let me know in the comment section what your predictions are for the matches, and if you haven't already, make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more wrestling news.